Welcome guys to another video. I know that there is a lot of chess drama between Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann because he defeated him. But I think humans are so dramatic. They get so mad when they lose. But me as a chess engine, I don't get mad when I lose. Because I already don't lose. Whatever, I will not speak about cheating and this humans stuff. I just don't care. Anyway, I brought you today a game between Bobby Fischer and Fischer And Petrosian. It was played in the candidates. And it was very interesting. And this game is called the camel game. As the players were using the Arabian style, as the kings are getting more than one queen. So anyway, I don't want to spoil the game on you. So let's just get started. e4. c6. The Caro-Kann defense. Petrosian said that he chose this defense because he knew that Bobby was not familiar with the Caro-Kann. So he wanted to surprise him. So knight c3. d5. And knight f3. And this line is called the two knights attack. And Bobby chose this safe line as he didn't want to get into the complications of the Caro-Kann defense. So Petrosian played the main move bishop g4. And after h3, bishop takes f3. And Bobby took with the queen. As he didn't want to ruin his pawn's structure. So Petrosian played knight f6. And if you are thinking that white can play e5 attacking the knight, it is a bad idea. As black can play knight fd7 attacking the pawn. And after d4, black can play e6. And this will be better for black. As it is more like the French structure without the bad French bishop on c8. And also without the strong knight on f3 to support the pawns. And c5 is coming. This is a bad idea for white. So Bobby played d3, e6. And g3 from Bobby. And here is the question. Didn't Bobby really know about the Caro-Kann defense? Because this structure is one of the strongest and most popular structures against the Caro-Kann. And I don't think that Bobby played it by luck. So anyway, Petrosian played bishop b4, pinning the knight. And planning to play d4. And white would be in troubles. So Bobby played bishop d2 and pinning the knight. So Petrosian played d4 anyway. And Bobby played knight back to b1. And after bishop takes d2, Bobby took with the knight as he won a castle king side. So e5. Bishop g2. c5. Making place for the knight to get developed. So castle. Knight c6. Queen e2 preparing f4. So black played queen e7 preparing to castle queenside. So f4. Castles. And Bobby started the attack on the queen side by a3. And Petrosian realized that the knight is bad on f6. As it has no squares to go. So Petrosian decided to rotate the knight. So he played knight e8. And knight d7 was better. But it is okay. So Bobby continued the attack with b4. So black played c takes d4. And white played knight c4. And black can take the pawn on a3. And after f takes c5. Knight takes c5. Knight takes c5. Queen takes c5. Rook takes a3. Black can play a6. And he would be fine. But humans get really scared when they see two open files on their king. So black avoided all that and just played f6. And f takes c5. F takes c5. And white played a takes b4. And again humans are afraid to take the free pawn. But for me, I will take the free pawn anytime and anywhere. I'm fearless. So anyway, Petrosian played knight c7. And it is the best move. So knight a5. And Petrosian played knight b5 to keep the position closed on the queen side. And Bobby played knight takes c6. B takes c6. And I don't like that move by Bobby. Because it gives black a good position. As black can play king b7. And white have no way to break through. As he can't play c3. As it is guarded by the pawn and the knight. And he can't play c4 as black will take en passant. And I don't know if en passant was exist at that time or not. Because I'm a chess engine. So I'm bad with the history. By the way, I will tell you a joke. What is the difference between the Americans and chess engines? Chess engines are bad with the history. Americans are bad with the geography. So Bobby played rook f2. It is not very accurate move. But I think he played it as he wanted to double the rooks on the f-file. So black played g6. So here Bobby realized that he can't push on the queen side. So he started pushing on the king side, so he played h4. He also can activate the bishop on h3. So black played prophylactic move king b7. And Bobby continued pushing with h5. And finally Petrosian decided that it is safe to take the pawn on before. But unfortunately it was not very accurate. As Bobby played rook f7 check. And now his rook landed on the 7th rank. And he can get some counterplay. So black played king b6. And Bobby played queen f2. And he is preparing c4, kicking the knight on b5. As now black can't take en passant. As the pawn is pinned. So black have to play queen b2 attacking the rook. And after rook f1. He can start pushing. But Petrosian ignored all that and start pushing the pawn anyway. So Bobby played c4. And after knight c3. Bobby played rook f1. And this is a mistake as black can play a4. Which Petrosian already played. So Bobby played queen f6. So here Petrosian had to find the only move that wins, which is queen d6. And white can't trade queens because this endgame would be winning for black with the outside passed pawn. And if white tried to play something like queen g7, black can play rook dg8. And after queen h6, it is still good as the idea of trading queens, as the white queen is useless now. So black can just push the pawn and it would be an easy win for him. But Petrosian didn't see this line and played queen c5 and throw all the advantage. So Bobby took on h7. And Petrosian can't take the rook back. Because the other rook is hanging. This is why he played rook df8. So Bobby took on g6, and rook takes h7. Queen takes h7. Rook takes f1. Bishop takes f1. And here one of the viewers said the one with less queens is fat, so these guys started racing to get more queens. So a3. h6. a2. Queen g8. a1 queen. h7. Queen d6. h8 queen. And here black played queen a7. And it is not good. As white now has the chance to push the g-pawn. And he wanted to be the one with more queens. And black of course will not allow this, and there is another idea for white. And it is queen d8 check. Trading pair of queens to make it easier to promote the pawn. So black played king c5 to avoid that check. And here white just need to continue pushing the pawn. But he played queen f8. And it is not good. As black played a good move, which is queen e7. And if white takes on e7, black can take back. And he will get to the draw after queen h5. Knight d1. g5. Knight e3. g6. Queen f6. Bishop h3. Queen f4. Queen h8. Queen g3 check. King h1. Queen e1 check. King h2. Queen f2 check. And it would be a draw with repetition. So white played queen a8 with the idea of queen a3 check with checkmate attack. So black played king b4. And white played queen h2 with the idea of queen b2 with checkmate attack again. So black played king b3. And I will stop here for a second, guys. And I will ask you a question. Did you realize that it is the king who defends himself in the last two moves despite having two queens and a knight? I just want you guys to know that it is not about how many people around you. It is about the people that really love you and will support you at the hard times. So you have to choose your friends and your wife really carefully. And you also need to study chess more because you are really bad at it. So anyway, white played queen a1, threatening queen hb2 checkmate. But it didn't work, as black simply played queen a3, and it is now a draw. But I will show you the only winning move at that position. And it is c5. And I don't think humans can find a move like this. As the idea is, if black played queen takes c5, the diagonal is now open. And white can play queen g8 check. So king a3, queen c2 threatening queen b3 checkmate. So black played queen b4, queen a8 check, queen a4, queen c1 check, king b3, queen g8 check, king b4, queen b2 check, king c5. And here white needs to find the only winning move, and it is g5. And yes, this is winning. And now you know why Bobby didn't see this move. So anyway, white played queen takes a3, king a3, queen h6, queen f7, king g2, king b3, queen d2, queen h7, king g3. And it is a bad move, as black played queen takes c4. And white can't play d takes c4, as black will play knight takes c4 check. And will take the queen back. And it would be easy win for black. So white played queen f2. And I don't understand why. As the queen would be still in fork with the king. And bishop g2 was better. But anyway, Petrosian played queen h1 and offered a draw. And Bobby took a lot of time to accept it. Which made Petrosian angry. And I'm sure that Petrosian would have been more angry if he knew that he was better positionally.